Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. We are live from Entrepreneur Academy, live with Greg Wittstock, the Pong Guy. And this is going to be an awesome interview. I'm so excited. Take it away.
Well, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah.
I've not heard your podcast, so I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Yeah.
And, Brian asked me about 6 weeks ago to come back up. I was here last year. Was very impressed that there was, 325 lunchpreneurs. I thought that was a cool name. And he's got even more this year, 350. And, he just wanted me to talk about, time management up on the stage. This is my 31st year running Aquascape. So
that's insane.
I'm Greg Wittstock, the Pong Guy. My business is manufacturing water feature equipment. It started off as just a summertime gig in college when I was at school to build ponds in people's backyards. And it just kind of evolved from there. I had the first 2 seasons, I was just myself and a couple of guys from the football team that would help me out on a day wage type of a thing. And then in the end of the second season, I got a front page story in the newspaper. I know that you don't remember that.
Newspapers,
That's a thing that people would read, and it had pictures in it and stuff. But and that article really took off my business. I ended up I built 5 ponds my first season, made $21,000 in 3 months, which wasn't bad for a college kid.
Yeah.
Came back early. I came back in the spring and started building ponds, and I had built between April and August another dozen water features. And then on August 2nd of 1992, when I was 22, my business exploded because that Chicago Tribune ran a front page story on Golden Ponds, and people started calling all over. And that was when the first time, after 2 seasons of doing it, that I thought, man, I could maybe make this into a business. And that was 92. And then other landscapers started hiring me as a subcontractor me out as the pond guy to build their ponds for their customers. And then they started wanting to buy my products. They said, well, we see you do this. Can we build it? But I was making them out of garbage cans and cattle troughs and stuff and pumps that I would buy from Home Depot. So I ended up patenting my filter system and manufacturing it and then selling them in 1995 when I was 25 to landscapers all over North America. And we're still doing that today. We're just doing it over the world. Yeah.
So are you still installing ponds yourself? Or are you mainly Aquascape?
We have an R&D division. Okay. Absolutely every single day is out there in the field. That's Team Aquascape on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook.
Yeah.
And Team Aquascape builds the water features, and that's our R&D division. So we basically have all of our we could talk of our customers because we are our customers.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So tell me this. A lot of guys that are listening in are young in business from the very beginning. We got some, and there's guys that aren't. I say that all the time, but there's guys that listen in who are further along in business than that. But a lot of guys mowing grass. Yeah. And they're looking to diversify their income, add some other services.
Yeah.
What would it look like getting into water features? Is it pretty hard? Is it simple? Can anybody do it?
I like that you said water features because, of course, I'm the pond guy, right? But ponds is the third level.
Yeah.
Okay, the first level is fountainscapes.
Yeah.
So anybody, you watch one video on a fountainscape, you can pretty much figure out how to do it. People, I don't know about the plumbing. Okay, yeah, you have a easy clamp, that goes on there, we turn with a screwdriver. So it's the plumbing's on so it starts off at fountainscapes, which is basically all you have to do is put an aqua basin into the ground. You have to be able to dig a hole 18 inches, and 4 feet around, and then you can put it in a fountainscape, whatever topper that you put on there. And then the next step is pondless waterfalls, which is more, we would consider fountainscapes more elementary school level in terms of the complexity of putting it in, addition and subtraction. Maybe multiplication would be junior high, which is pondless waterfalls, so a waterfall without a pond, so no nature in it in life. High school level, maybe geometry, would be more of your ponds where you have aquatic plant life and everything else. So you don't just jump in and start building ponds. You start putting in some fountainscapes, you start putting in some pondless. Maybe eventually after you master that a little bit, then you get into the ponds. And then recreation ponds That's more like college level, trigonometry or whatever math, would that be relatable to. And one of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make is they go, they put in a fountainscape and the next pond they do is a college level, ecosystem rec pond where someone's swimming in. No. You got to build up to that if ever you even get there. So start, and it's, by the way, it's easier to make money on a fountainscape that you're putting in one day or, 2.5 hours, 6 man hours with 2 guys that you charge $2,500 for than a $50,000 rec pond.
Yeah, I believe it.
That might take you a month,
and
your gross profit margins might be 20% versus 50% with a fountainscape. So stick to the blocking and tackling. Next is how much do you use addition and subtraction versus trigonometry in every day? You need a lot more addition and subtraction. So keep it simple, stupid is our basic philosophy.
Yeah, I love that. So what does it look like for somebody who wanted to get into that? How would they go about maybe checking out Aquascape or something, getting into the fountains and stuff?
This is what's super cool. Like when I did it, I created the industry. There was no professional manufacturer back in 1991. No professional manufacturers of water feature equipment in the world. So I had to figure this all out on my own. Now I just give you a paint by the numbers kit to go. Mm-hmm. So you would go to the aquascapetraining.com, AQUASCAPE, aquascapetraining.com, and there's all sorts of different options. You can take the Aquascape University online, where there's paid and unpaid classes on there. You could go to the Aquascape Academy, which is what I was just talking about up on stage. In Chicago, we do it in January, February, and March, where people come in and they actually watch our crew in a sandbox, install a pond. It's a one-day classroom, one day of actually watching the guys doing it and asking your questions. Or you can just watch our YouTube videos on Instagram and TikTok and start following us along that way and see how we're doing things. So, you can just basically it's a whole smorgasbord. It's a whole buffet. You just pick out what you want to do. For me, the easiest way to be successful in life is find somebody doing what you want to do. And so here's what we're doing, and then you can just follow our blueprint to be successful with this. And don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't put more on your plate than you can eat at the first time. Just start off small fountainscapes or pondless waterfalls in your area. Put one in for yourself. Put one in your backyard and start that way so that you can actually live with it. And then that's just how I got it going. I put a water feature in my backyard. The UPS guy was delivering a package. I was in the backyard. I heard the doorbell ring. I said, come around. He goes, this is beautiful. How'd you ever buy a house with a spring on it? I'm like, nah, dude, I built this. And he's like, can you build me one? And I'm like, well, yes, I could. And that's how my business got started.
That's hilarious.
So if you put a water feature in at your house, friends, neighbors, relatives come over and they're going to want one, and then that's how you get started.
Man, that's awesome. That's a really cool story and a good way to go about it. I got 2 final questions for you. I know you got to run, so we keep this thing short.
Yes, sir.
One thing is, what's your biggest piece of business advice for somebody like? So we're talking about waterscapes, things like that. Yeah. Let's talk business, like entrepreneurship, business level. What is your business advice for growing and not necessarily scaling your company, but just growing your company?
Well, let's just talk about what I just talked about on stage. All business is fixing problems. So when you're sitting there getting demotivated by your problems, say, thank God I got problems, because that's how I have a business. If a good body came in a pill, everybody would have a good body. That's what Cher says. So it takes work. So instead of having those problems demotivate, you realize, well, that's why I got an opportunity to have a business here. And thank God I have an opportunity, because the definition of hell is a life without problems, because there's nothing to do. Right? You're bored. How many people have you ever heard that worked their whole lives, retired, don't have a purpose? The purpose of life is to have a purpose and then die. So it's tough. It's challenging. The hardest thing you'll ever do is run a business, because the buck stops with you. And speaking of the buck, it's hard to make money because you got a lot of problems to fix. But you live and you learn, right? And the easiest way to be successful in life is to find somebody doing what you want to do and do what they did. So follow their blueprint. Yeah,
I love it. What is your why? It's our last question.
So my why, which would be I know exactly what you're talking about. What was that guy's name? Simon Sinek, right? Simon Sinek, the why. My why is helping people. So I want to help people. So the reason that I'm here in Detroit instead of with my wife in Utah skiing, because my sons went skiing yesterday for the first time. We got 22 inches of snow up in the mountains, is because maybe meeting a guy like you who's young and starting up his podcast that can be an influencer for people out there, being able to talk to 350 guys who are wanting to better themselves. There could have been 3,500 people here, but there was 350 people here, because these are the people that really want to. So, prepare a table, just go out, tell them what we do, and then hopefully some people will actually take the ball and run with it.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much. Everybody can find you on YouTube at
The Pong Guy, Greg Wittstock, The Pong Guy, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Team Aquascape as well, which is the construction side.
Awesome, man. Well, y'all go check it out if you want to follow along, learn a little bit more about Aquascape and what you got going on there. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks,
buddy.
Jeremiah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to the show today and listening to that little 10-minute clip that we had from Greg Wittstock at Launchpreneur Academy. That was a really, really cool clip. It spoke to me a lot. It was cool being able to sit there and have the conversation with Greg. Greg is a guy that has more energy than just about anybody I know. He is somebody who is packed full of energy. He's a fireball, but he's also a really, really smart dude. He's built multiple multi-million-dollar companies. He has built them to where they can be ran without him having to be present all the time. And so he is a master at creating content now and growing YouTube channels and such. But what I wanted to do is just kind of do a little 10-minute, maybe 15-minute debrief of what I got from that conversation with Greg and a little bit of how we can take that moving forward into 2023 here. When I look at that story of Aquascape and everything that Greg has built and his team around him has built, I look at the very beginning. I look at what he started with, which was absolutely nothing. Greg started out of just a kid in college looking to make some money, and he was able to end up growing, like I said, a multi-million-dollar company, companies to be exact. And so what I can take away and what I think everyone should be able to take away is, hold on, my audio is messing up here. I'm doing a road show, heading home from reffing a basketball game, actually. So what we can all take away is, hopefully my audio is good now, is that no matter where you're at in business, maybe you're in year 1 or 2, there's no end to where you can go. You can get whatever you want to get. It's just a matter of how much work you put into it. Do you think Greg had this much stuff in the very beginning of his company? Absolutely not. He started pulling. He said in the interview, I forget exactly what he said, but the parts he was using to build these filtration systems weren't legit. He was just finding stuff, putting them together. And he ended up making a product that's a patent on it, and now it's sold across the world. You probably heard that in this little long bed pickup truck that has no weight back there, so it bounces around like crazy. But anyway, what I want to do for 2023 is I want to take that conversation and apply it to my life now and my business. And the way I look at it, I'm like, I can really grow this year if I want to, but it's going to come with a lot of work. And to grow multi-million-dollar company, one company takes a lot of work. To do multiple, it takes a whole lot of work. And so one thing that it stands out to me is like people think things should just be given to them. And that's so ridiculous. Like, why should anything in life be given to you? Even if I'm a millionaire, my kids aren't going to get my inherit. They're not just going to, when they're growing up, if I'm alive, they're not just going to be handed money and say, hey, go spend this. They're going to earn their money. And so why should we be given anything in life? Life is hard. Life is tough. And it's going to take a lot of hard work. But it just comes back to, like, how much determination do you have? How bad do you want it? You can change your life. You're a few conversations away from changing your life. You're definitely a few years away from changing your life. You could change your life in a few months if you really wanted to. If you wanted to eat better, then you can change your life in a few months. If you want to lose weight, then you can change your life in a few months. So it just comes down to, like, how much are you willing to work for it? How bad do you really want the end result? And so as we wrap up 2022 here, I reflect on 22, and this isn't going to be an end-of-the-year show. We're going to do one of those later on. But I reflect, and I'm like, how hard did I actually work this year? What did I do wrong? Like, what do I need to fix? And so we're going to do another show where we talk about and walk through the things that we need to fix moving forward. But there's a lot of things. And there's a lot of things that I need to fix. And so... And not fixed, but I need to work on. And they're not broken. They're not broken systems. They just need to be improved upon. And I'm already in the works of doing one of those now. A big announcement coming here in the next week or two, probably, about some new stuff that we've got going on that hopefully I'm going to be able to help a lot of other people out with as well. So just stay tuned for that. That's going to be, like I said, a really big announcement. Not many people in my little circle are doing this yet, so excited to get this out there to the public. But anyway, I just wanted to reflect on what Greg said. I hope it related with you, and for me, it was just hard work. It was the energy, but you also got to love what you do. Like, Greg loves what he does. Everything he does with like 100% passion, and I don't think he would do it if he wasn't passionate about it. And so be passionate in what you do. If you're going to work hard for something, make sure you're passionate about it, because you don't want to come home at night late every night and just, like, get nothing out of it. You don't want to, like, if you feel no fulfillment, then it's so hard. It's easy to say fulfillment right there. If you don't get any fulfillment out of it, then why are you doing it? And so that's some things that I need to work on moving forward. Excuse me. some things I need to work on moving forward. And one thing that also stood out to me is in Greg on stage was talking about this. I don't know if he was on stage or it was a conversation I had with Brian or somebody, but he was talking about how he makes his schedule out for the year. He puts his vacation days into the schedule. He doesn't schedule his work first and then say, oh, I'm going to take a vacation here and when it fits in. Like, no, he schedules his vacations and then he says, well, we will schedule work around that. And that's something for me moving forward. I'm like, I want to build this business so I can enjoy time with my family and spend time with my family, and I want to make a good living so we can go and do things and provide for my family and other people, my extended family. Like, I want to be able to treat them and go on trips. And so vacation, whether it be you sit at home and hang with your kids for a day or you go on a real trip, like make that a big plan moving forward to make your vacation days a priority. That's something that I'm going to do, and I'm going to make that a priority for my guys as well. Like, I want to make sure they have vacation days and they're able to use them. We have some big stuff coming. Hopefully, we plan to scale a little bit more in 23. So, just a really, really fun into the year. We had a really great year. A lot to learn from. But Launchpreneur Academy, that was our last interview from there, that little 10-minute clip from Greg. And I hope he gave you some advice. Like, you're not going to get anything good out of these last 10 minutes of what you listen to. I'm just kind of trying to wrap up what I heard because we didn't even get that deep. Greg had to run. He had somewhere he had to be, so I got him for 10 minutes. I want to get him back on the show and have a full-length episode with him because there's just so much more that we can learn and take away from it. But I hope that it related to you somehow, and somehow you can learn and grow from it, and then hopefully change your future moving forward. But I think that is actually going to just wrap this one up. I don't want to keep rambling for no reason, and I don't want to have a show if I'm not adding value. So this is an extremely short show today. This is probably one of the shortest shows we've ever put out. But the 10 minutes from Greg was worth it. I just wanted to get that out there. And we're going to have a full Christmas light debrief coming soon. We're going to talk about Christmas lights and how that went for us this season. We got our feet wet with it. We did quite a few installs, not a ton, but definitely more than last year. And so excited to look back on that and see how much money we actually made. We're going to be open book with it and talk about it and how we can get better and grow for next year. And then we have some fun stuff coming up, hopefully some cool partnerships in the works. We're going to see what happens there. But 2023 is going to be a great year. We're going to finish 22 strong. Y'all stay listening to the podcast over the winter. I know the podcast normally drops off, but like this is the time you should really be fueling yourself when you have time to actually listen and tune in. Go back to some of the old shows. Listen to some old shows that we have with interviews with guys. Like there's some the amount of content packed into just my podcast with interviews that we've had, and then you get into the 5-10 other industry podcasts that are out there. Like you could spend days and weeks just listening to podcasts over this winter months, and your business could be transformed next year, 100% transformed. Read some good books. That's something I'm also going to work on moving forward. Is I want to read more in 2023. So. Start setting goals now. You don't wait. Don't get caught on January 1st with your pants down because you hadn't gone over your goals yet. Start that now. Don't wait till December 31st at 11:50 to start that because that's something that you need to be doing all the time, and you need to be looking for next year like 6 months ago. You need to already be looking forward. So if you haven't even looked forward yet, then start looking forward now. I hope you enjoyed Monday's show, Marriage Monday with the Sapones. That was a really, really fun episode. It was real. It was just so real life. Everything that they've gone through, everything that they can relate to. I'm so thankful to them for sharing with everyone and just trying to help everyone get better. I love getting other couples on here. If you're interested in being on the show, if you're a business owner and you have a wife, y'all work and own the business, that would be it would be a cool contact. Reach out and let me know because that's something that we're trying to do more and more of is just how can we help other couples grow? That's something that for me is a huge burden, not a burden, but like a conviction almost you can say is like I want to help more couples out there because I know how hard it is. And so especially when you're young in business, you have young kids, things like that, we're in that stage of our life right now. So if we can ever help, please shoot me a message, let me know. On Instagram, you can reach me in a DM there. You can email me. The email's in the show notes as well. We would be down to help any way we can. We're also got some new stuff coming in 2023. Hopefully, we're going to be able to do some consulting. I'm not going to call them coaching because I'm not coaching. I don't think I'm at a point to coach you, but I'm at a point to definitely consult with you and talk about some things that's worked for us and things that I think we can help you with moving forward. So just a lot of fun stuff coming up, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the show and listening Monday, Wednesday, Friday for all of our shows that come out. All the amazing guests that come on to produce good shows other than like the last 10 minutes of this show. But anyway, I don't want to keep rambling. Thanks to Greg for coming on and joining the show today. Thanks to each and every one of you for listening. And we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.